Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I know I said in my last video that my next video would be of me on the beach in Mexico. We're going to have to move that to the right a little bit because this morning, Mel Robbins captured my attention. She talked about dreaming big. And I think that's wonderful. I think it's necessary. But it occurred to me in order to dream big and to make actionable steps toward those big dreams, you really need to have a crystal clear vision of who you are. So those dreams are attainable, they seem realistic, and you can work toward them. I'd like to talk a little bit about what I've done, what I've been taught to do to move toward my big dreams. So before I move ahead, and I always forget to do this, if you find my videos or my content interesting or they resonate with you, please take a moment to hit like, comment, share, forward it. All these things lets YouTube know that you actually like what I'm saying and I might be helping you a bit. So again, my name is Heather and my personal vision is to help people who have chronic illnesses that are a little uncertain, are uncomfortable, or afraid of traveling or moving overseas because they have a chronic illness. I'd like to show them it's absolutely possible to do so because I've been doing it for about 30 years. So let's get into the topic. Okay, so one of the things that I've used to learn myself, to know myself better, is to make my personal vision statement. It is not a small thing. I spent 8 months working on it as I was training to be a coach. I worked on it as I was in school. I worked on it with my career coach, Deborah Brown. And I finally figured out how I want to be, what my values are. This is not a video about how to do that. I'm suggesting that maybe you do some research and figure out your personal vision. It should contain your personal goals, your personal values, and who and what you aspire to be in the future. So once you've worked on it and you're crystal clear on your personal vision statement, I want you to give some thought to your miracle question. I know some of you may know what this is, but I'd like to explain it to you. It was introduced to me as a detailed understanding of what your perfect day would look like. And I'm not talking a superficial review of your day. I'm talking closing your eyes and thinking about, I want to wake up in a house full of light. I want to have a cup of coffee on the patio. This is the person or dog or pet or whatever that one sitting next to me. I want you to go through your day in absolute detail so you know what your perfect miracle question day would look like. And that's important because the next thing is, once you realize your perfect miracle day, you need to determine, how does it compare to your days now? What are the gaps? How far away are you from your miracle day? Once you figure that out, you can start making your steps toward your big goal. So you know your vision, you know your values, you know where you want to be, you know what your day should look like, and now you know the gaps. All these work together to help you create these steps. So once you figure out the gaps, ask yourself, is my miracle life important to me? How quickly do I want to fill these gaps? Is my platform burning? And when I say platform, yes, the external is very important. How you approach your life. How do you like your job? But the inside things are important too. What is your motivation like? Are you loving the people who love you? Are you open? Are you vulnerable? All the things that create a full life. So when you figure out these gaps and you figure out that it's important to you to make these steps, then you start making these little steps. I know it sounds kind of odd. It may seem a little far-fetched, but I'm here to tell you it is absolutely workable once you figure out who you are, what you want, and what's missing, and yes, that you're going to move forward to fill these gaps. So once you do that, then I have to ask you a difficult question. You have to ask yourself a difficult question. What excuses are you using to protect yourself? What's stopping you from moving ahead? And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of legitimate things and concerns out there that are large and require full consideration and your full attention. But I challenge you to dig deep and research these rationales, excuses, questions, whatever you want to call them, with the goal of proving yourself wrong. You will find that there are resources and paths out there that will allow you to minimize these excuses and fill in some of these gaps. So, some of the examples I've heard as far as rationales or excuses, and that is a very poor word, but the thing that's stopping you from moving ahead. So you may have an elderly parent that requires 24/7 care. That's a real thing. Cortez Ross at Move Abroad and Thrive just presented two people. I'm going to give you the first one because it's relevant to this comment. And this is real-time information. He has helped a family with an elderly loved one get assisted living in Merida, and these are normal prices, this isn't special prices, in an assisted living facility for about $1,000 or $1,100 a month. Now, if you've ever researched this, I certainly have, in the US, an average place will cost you about $7,000 to $8,000 a month. I don't know about you, but that is beyond my ability right now, but it's doable in other countries. The second person Cortez presented was a lady who recovered from a stroke. She needed in-house assistance. We know in the US that's also incredibly expensive. This lady right now, as you're listening to this video, has a 6-day live-in assistant that helps take her to her doctor's appointments, helps cook, clean, does translating 6 days a week for about a little over $500 a month. $500 a month, 6 days a week in-house. So it is doable. It's doable. You can have young children. You say, well, I'm concerned about school. There are online classes, there are international schools, and I don't know when was the last time you checked, but the American schooling system isn't exactly at the top of the list. So there are ways, there are challenges, but there are ways to get your children the education that they need while you live overseas. So with all that said, and that's a lot. It was said quickly, but it is a lot that you have to give consideration for. I would like you to think this moment, the next moment, the moment after that, what is the one small thing you can do to narrow that gap, to fill in that gap, to take some strength away from those rationales that's stopping you from moving forward? Think about that, because I promise you, the majority of the people who actually take the steps to move overseas, to go after their big dreams, look back and they wish they'd done it sooner. So folks, that's all I have for you today. And again, my usual question, how do you want to spend your health? Have a great day, and I'll see you in Mexico.